Yo, what's cracking everyone? Ericship 111 here. So just yesterday over on the official Forza website, they published a year in review article. They have been doing this for many years now, and for me, it is always interesting to look back at what the team has accomplished. However, this year, I wasn't particularly excited to read the year in review because honestly, not much has happened. Sure, we had the launch of Horizon 5 on the PlayStation 5, Forza Motorsport reintroducing Fujimi Kaido, and there was a small tease for Forza Horizon 6, but beyond that, both their concurrent titles, Forza Horizon 5 and Forza Motorsport, have not received any new content in quite some time. Of course, I still read the article, and at first, it seemed exactly what I had expected, a recap of the year with several community highlights. However, under the Forza Motorsport section, there was a very important announcement tucked away. This announcement should have been a separate article or blog post on its own because it not only confirms all of the speculations and rumors we have heard about Turn 10 and the Motorsport series over the past several months, but it also affects the direction of the entire Forza franchise moving forward. Let's begin with what was actually written. The statement reads, and I quote, "As our team shifts its focus toward delivering the best possible experience with Forza Horizon 6 in 2026, we do not plan to introduce new cars, tracks, features, or regular bug fixes for Forza Motorsport. However, we will continue supporting the game by keeping online servers active, hosting special events and competitions, and reintroducing previously released featured tours and reward cars on a monthly basis until all content is available for you to enjoy anytime." Now, to think that such a significant statement was buried in a year in review article is astonishing. For those who closely followed the development of Forza Motorsport, it was well known that this title was planned to be an evergreen racing game designed to expand and evolve over the many years. I'm sure those who purchased this game on Steam or Xbox had real hopes that Turn 10 would fulfill those promises despite the game's difficult launch. Sadly, that will not be the reality. Well, this announcement removes all uncertainty surrounding Forza Motorsport's future. For months, players have been reading online, trying to interpret vague developer comments, open-ended social media posts, and industry rumors, but now there's no more ambiguity. Forza Motorsport is no longer going to progress as a title, as it has effectively reached a standstill. The version of Forza Motorsport that we have today is essentially the final version. From this point on, the only content players will receive consists of previously timed exclusive featured tours in career mode, all of which will eventually return permanently. In fact, Turn 10 recently confirmed in another article that these 3 featured tours will begin returning starting from 2026. Now, some of you may be saying, who really cares? But this does matter because Forza Motorsport was never intended to be a static release. It was marketed as a long-term racing platform designed to improve over time and gradually reach its full potential. And just when the game felt like it was making real strides with the return of Fujimi Kaido, permanent open events, along with social meetups, Turn 10, Microsoft, or whoever's in charge decided to pull the plug. Which then leaves the Forza community wondering, did Forza Horizon really kill Forza Motorsport? Back in 2012, Forza Horizon launched as a spin-off to the juggernaut that was Forza Motorsport. At the time, Motorsport was the spotlight of the Forza franchise. It was the serious, simulation-focused racing game that defined Xbox's presence in the genre, while Horizon was meant to be a more relaxed side project that was fun, more experimental, and less constrained. However, what started as a spin-off didn't stay that way for very long. With each new entry, Horizon began to grow faster than even Xbox had anticipated. The series appealed to a much broader audience, pulled in more casual players, and created moments that were far more exciting to watch and much easier to market. By the time Forza Horizon 4 and later Horizon 5 released, the balance between the two series had completely shifted. Horizon was no longer the side project, instead it had become the main event, as it brought in the largest audience numbers, generated the most amount of hype, and carried the Forza name far beyond traditional racing fans. And this was where the problems began. Once Horizon became the face of the Forza franchise, Motorsport was forced into a direct competition with its very own spin-off. Every shortcoming felt amplified, every built from the ground moment promise became a talking point, and especially after Motorsport's rocky reboot, the gap only continued to widen. Instead of allowing Forza Motorsport to slowly recover and build towards the long-term vision Turn 10 had originally promised, it found itself having to catch up rapidly to a massively successful open-world racer that was simply easier for Xbox to justify investing in. Now, of course, Horizon's success wasn't the only reason why Forza Motorsport ended up in today's position. Both Turn 10 and Microsoft also played a major role in its decline. Decisions around development direction, live service structure, communication, and the game's launch state all contributed to the situation Forza Motorsport is in now. Playground Games and Horizon didn't kill this series on its own, it just merely exposed the cracks that were already there. And with this latest announcement, those cracks have finally been sealed, which now leaves Turn 10 in a strange position going forward. A studio that was once defined by the Forza Motorsport series has now been fully directed towards a supporting role to a studio and a series that has now completely outgrown them. As unfortunate as today's news is, Turn 10 Studios will never truly die, even though the team has been significantly reduced by Microsoft and is now being redirected as a supporting studio for Playground Games and the Forza Horizon series. It's important to remember that the very foundation of Forza Horizon and even the upcoming Fable reboot that many of us are excited about is built upon the Forza Tech engine, a proprietary game engine developed and maintained by Turn 10 Studio themselves. That alone guarantees that Turn 10 remains essential to Microsoft's racing and open world pipeline. The studio's role may no longer be in the forefront anymore, but its technology is heavily embedded across multiple Xbox flagship projects. Physics systems, rendering technology, vehicle handling models, lighting, and performance optimization, these are all areas where Turn 10's decades of experience will continue to flourish behind the scenes. However, this does also highlight how real this transition is. Turn 10 is no longer being positioned as a driver for its own series, but as a technical backbone supporting others. And while that ensures the studio's survival, it also confirms that Forza Motorsport, as we know it, has sadly reached the end of the road. So while I'm very excited to see how Forza Horizon 6 will be, now that both Playground Games and Turn 10 Studios are putting all their efforts into the upcoming release, the era that once defined Turn 10 as a racing juggernaut and was once the answer to PlayStation's Polyphony Digital and Gran Turismo series has come to a close. So there we have it, guys, a sad day for Forza Motorsport fans. But anyways, what do you guys think about all of this? Share us your thoughts down in the comment section below. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy today's video, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button, as it really does help me out. And of course, if you guys would like to stay up to date with everything Forza related, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.